Check.
Too. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. I'm Allie's dad. Thank you, all of our friends and family who have traveled from many miles away, some of you, to be here today, and many of our family members who are in spirit today who were not able to travel for health reasons, travel restrictions, travel concerns. And most importantly, we would like to acknowledge those family members who have sadly passed on prior to being here today, who would have loved to be here. Many of them are featured on our memorial table. These were very special individuals to Allie and Thomas growing up, and they're going to be in our hearts forever. To Claire and Steve, thank you for being on this journey with us. It's been wonderful. And thank you for raising such a wonderful man who our daughter has chosen to spend the rest of her life with. And finally, I'd like to thank Pastor Tom for your moving ceremony earlier, for joining, that joined Allie and Thomas together forever. As a father, this day is filled with many emotions. Seeing our only child all grown up and officially beginning her new life, a new chapter as somebody's wife. Lately, I've been reflecting on our times together, special milestones over the year, both as milestones in Allie's life, but also mine as a father. Going back to the day that Allie was born, the first time I held her in my arms in the hospital, 2:45 a.m. one Sunday morning, holding this little person in my arms as she struggled to open her eyes for the first time and grabbing my finger. And just looking into those eyes and just wondering what kind of a person she'd be, what kind of life she'd carve out for herself, and what kind of father I would be to this little person. Flashing forward a few years, teaching her how to ride a bike, putting together model rockets, shooting them off into the atmosphere in the backyard. All the daddy-daughter dances, the endless school events, your early ballet recitals to talent shows, choir concerts, musicals, plays, eventually your own piano recitals, and then just a couple of years ago seeing you perform at Carnegie Hall in New York City. It was just many special occasions that I will always hold dearly. I am so blessed that Allie and I share a special father bond. She has shared in many of my interests, sometimes as a willing participant, and others just to humor her old man. Like my passion for radio broadcasting and recordings. We have done so many goofy videos and audio recordings over the years, did a podcast together for 10 years. She's been my buddy all along the way. I have never been as proud as I am of you right now. Looking at you and seeing how beautiful, what a confident, talented, compassionate woman you've become. You'll always be my little girl. I recently watched Father of the Bride, the Steve Martin version. It came out about 20 years ago, and I think I've seen it a few times along the way. But just a few months ago, Allie, Thomas, her mom, and I sat down and we watched it again. And this is the first time I saw it through a completely new lens. I was the only person in the room that could relate to the main character, Steve Martin, who of course was Father of the Bride. One of the lines that stood out at me that Steve Martin said, and I paraphrase, "Growing up, you worry about her going out with the wrong kind of guys. But then she gets a little older and you quit worrying about her meeting the wrong guy and you worry about her meeting the right guy." And here we are today. And how do I know that Thomas is the right guy for Allie? Because Allie said so in her own words. The first time I realized that Allie was serious about spending the rest of her life with Thomas was when she said something to the effect that, "Dad, Thomas is the sum of all of my individual friends. You know, you've got the one friend who you've got common interests with, you've got another friend who you can be goofy and laugh with, another friend who you can share your hopes, your dreams, your fears with. and another friend who you can be totally vulnerable with and cry with. And she said, Dad, Thomas is all of that rolled into one. So what do you say about that? So that brings me to Thomas. Thomas, welcome to our family. I've had my eye on you for nearly 7 years. I've always wanted the best for Allie. I wanted her to find somebody who admires her the way I do. And I see how happy and natural the two of you are together. When I see you sing on stage, worship songs, your little coffee house gigs on stage, I could see the true love between you, the way you look at each other. I've also taken close notice of how you respect her and you care for her. And I see when you've come to her assistance in time of need. And I believe from those observations, I know she will always be able to count on you. I'll be able to count on you. As with any strong relationship, it's important for both individuals to complement one another with their gifts. And one of the ways that you complement the relationship, and this came up earlier in the vows, so we didn't even check. This is just great, is that you bring a sense of calm to chaotic situations. Like the time that you were both together in Allie's first car accident. She called, obviously, visibly, or audibly, confused, concerned, emotionally a wreck. And as parents, we wanted to know the details. Is everybody safe? Do you have your insurance card? The police called. Tried to get those facts from Allie. Passed over the phone to you. You talked to Mom, talked her off the ledge, gave us all the facts. Everybody's fine. And we knew that she was in good hands that day, that you were there to set things right. I think some of these skills come from your Eagle Scout days, your survival skills, which came in quite handy when you both, and you mentioned this earlier, came to us, and one day you said, we want to go cross country for spring break, and we want to camp at the Grand Canyon, see Zion National Park, and as parents, we were concerned. You know, our daughter, 20 years old maybe, going across country. I said, we need more information. So Thomas went away. A couple weeks later, he came back with a slideshow. And every day was mapped out. The itinerary, the budget, where they were going to stay. And we felt a lot better after that. And they made it back, as you could see. Those survival skills also came in handy a year ago when Allie moved out on her own. Again, seeing our only child, our daughter, moving out on her own, you're excited because your child is taking that next step towards independence, but also concerned that she's going to be living by herself. And Thomas was also concerned, so much so that he booby-trapped her apartment with security cameras, ways of, listening in on people in the hallway, other deterrents, let's say. And now that you'll be living there, you will be an additional layer of a deterrent. So welcome again to the family, son. Again, Claire and Steve, we're now one family. It's been great getting to know you over the past several years. Sorry, I'm being blocked here. Our family events, our holiday cookouts, our New Year's Eve celebrations. I look forward to many more years celebrating additional milestones, eventually the day of grandchildren, which I hope isn't just quite yet, but looking forward to it nevertheless. And finally, I'd like to acknowledge my wife, Kim, Allie's mom. When we were married 26 years ago, we had our life and dreams ahead of us. We didn't know how many kids we were going to have, how they were going to turn out, but we had Allie, and a few years later, we said, why ruin a perfect record? Allie's perfect, let's just stop. So we did. And here she is. And I would just want to thank you for all of your dedication, your sacrifices over the years to raise such a wonderful daughter. She is so much like you. I look at her today and she reminds me of how beautiful you were the day we were married. And I'm so glad and blessed that she has had such a positive role model to aspire to in you. So now, if you're able, I'd welcome you to join me in a toast. Allie, you have been the light of my life for over 23 years, and now I turn you over to Thomas, who I know you are also the light of his life. May the two of you have a fantastic life ahead, with each year growing in your love for one another, growing each year. May your marriage be filled with love, laughter, happiness, joy. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Larson.